Assalamu alaikum. May the peace and blessings of God be with you. Good evening. You are viewing The Right Fit on IBN, the Islamic Broadcasting Network. I am Bibi Ajoda, former lecturer at Corinth Teachers College and retired school supervisor 3. Join us as we discuss several topics, including education, environment, health, and technology. This platform aims to educate and inform our viewers through our discussions and questions with subject matter experts. This evening, we are discussing one aspect of one of the most important journey in a child's life, the SCA exam preparation. With me in the studio is coach/counselor, Mr. Selwyn Bajan, who was here last week, and we welcome him back again. Mr. Bajan, welcome to IBN The Right Fit.
Thank you very much. Very happy to be here.
You know, some of our viewers perhaps they missed you last week, so you could tell them a little bit so they will know who talking to them. Right. Tell them about yourself a little bit.
Well, I was the corporate HR manager for Carney Limited, so I had a huge portfolio and wonderful experiences at Carney, and since then I have set up several institutions in the Caribbean. I am the executive director for City and Guilds programs, vocational training and academic training in places in the Caribbean, and I've set up at my home in Couva and in Pinal and so on, places to coach and counsel and guide people who feel challenged, young people, families, and so on. I studied at Harvard Medical School, where I studied lifestyle medicine, cognitive behavior therapy, and mind-body medicine. So at this stage in my life, I just want to share, give, build, empower people to be happy, to be joyful, to be peaceful, to be happy.
And the right person to be with us today, because everybody knows SCA exam is one of the most challenging exams that a child can write. It has stress, it has anxiety, all these above, parent, child, and sometimes teacher. So preparation today, months before, not many months, 2.5 perhaps months before the actual SCA exam on March 26. So we are talking about parents, teachers, and of course the children, the student out there. So we are discussing how we could help them through this journey they are on, right? What are healthy ways for children to cope with exam pressure?
Okay. So both for these teachers, children, parents, this is a tough time. This is a time of anxiety and restlessness and so on. But the first thing is to know it is a passing moment. It's not going to be that they have to rush into the SCA for more than a month or two. So it's a passing moment. So our adaptations, that's the word, our adaptations at this time are temporary adaptations to ensure that teachers, children, parents, homes also are more relaxed, more settled. They're not getting stressed out. So it's a fleeting moment in lifetime for adaptations that allow us to maintain a sense of balance and peacefulness. So if you just hold on to those words, adaptation during this changing time to maintain balance.
Well, I'm going to be very specific. First of all, I'll talk one general question about parents. I know they are all anxious. They are scared, some of them. Different emotions come out because this is a very, very difficult time for them, some of them. How can parents reduce stress at home?
Right. It's a very important question and one that we need to actualize. So when I share with you, it's things, I'm not just philosophic and broad-based, but things that we can do at home. Now, there's more stress at this time for parents than we can imagine. Those of us who have gone through it, we know the story. So we don't just think it's the children or the school. The parents are going through some really serious times of stress. So I will share with you some of the things. Remember, I want to come back to this idea. It's for a moment here. So just during this moment, there are some things parents need to be careful with. One, try to do normal things in the house. Don't go and start to do some kind of emergency crisis kind of behavior and scaring everybody and so on. Yes, it is a tough time, but you have to rest. You have to find moments to rest. You have to have good night's sleep, have your little cup of tea, and relax, whether you're looking at television or whatever. But resting, I know it's a rough time, it's a tough time, and they're demanding. I know a school in Port of Spain where now during this time the children are coming in at 6:30 in the morning, and they're leaving at 6:30 in the evening.
Wow.
And well, how they get there? The parents, the mother's a lot. So make sure, parents, that you get some time to relax, rest, drink some tea, go out in the garden. So it sounds simplistic, but just for these next few weeks, just make sure that you have a regular routine of resting. Make sure that you're drinking a lot of liquids.
Correct.
Now, by drinking the liquids, we're talking about water or juices. A dependence on the sweetener, soft drinks and all that. So don't give the children, and also, I'll come back to that in a little while, too much of the soft drinks now, water and juices. Another thing is, don't miss on your meals. Don't miss on your eating. It sounds simple, but we might become so busy being busy that we're messing up on our meals. Make sure you have a little time for breakfast. Make sure you eat something for lunch. Make sure you eat in the evening.
Because you want them to be a support for the child or children.
Correct.
So they themselves have to get themselves in shape and in
Correct.
good health as well.
Correct.
All right?
Don't mess up with a little exercise. I know it sounds so strange to say that, but 3 times for the week you should do a little stretching.
But did they know exercise helps you to reduce stress?
Correct.
Take a walk in the park.
Walk in the park.
Yeah.
Do a little stretching and movements, and even dance. Put some music at home and do some movements in a nice way. Dance meaning just rhythm. So some physical movements and exercise, the eating, the staying hydrated, the getting rest. There's one that is very interesting based on research. You have to look at your thought processes. You can't just be negative and over anxious and so on. You tell yourself, we will come through. We are intelligent. We will work it out. We will, so it sounds strange to say it, but the research says that being positive about life and being positive about the challenges of the time, we will come through.
Well, you know, I want to butt in there a little bit. In education, we say it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
Think positive, act positive, and it will come out. Because in teaching, we tell teachers, don't call children names or say they're stupid.
Correct.
Always be positive with them, and you would see positive results.
Correct.
But I want to go, because we want to deal with 3 aspects here. Teachers, a little bit help for them. Parents, and of course, in the 3rd aspect, the most important one, the student. So I want to get into the strategies here. How can teachers identify when a student is struggling emotionally in the in the classroom? This is something, you know, they need to get some pointers here.
Yes.
How to identify that, how to point out to that to see the stress is too much for the child, or how can they...
Right. So again, the teachers, like the parents, must eat, must get some rest, must do some exercise. But in the context of the child, it's an interesting technique. Simplify certain things. A child is struggling with achieving a certain amount of knowledge or so on, simplify it for them and repeat it in a simple way. Because the child is not silly or stupid. Don't call them by any name other than beautiful. Well, you know what I mean. Don't say stupid, you dotish, you da, da, da. Not at this time, ever, but certainly not at this time. Take a moment because they are ready for SCA. They're just revising now, they're fine-tuning a few things. But simplify the information and go it over. I don't mind if it's a little bit burden, but go it over in a simple way, and so that they could feel comfort. The idea of simplifying information is to create comfort for the child. It's a psychological technique. It's not necessary academically, but on a level of comfort it is there.
And I would add another tip, because I saw it in my granddaughter's, she told me about it in a classroom. Each one teach one.
Yes.
The child who understood whatever concept, whether it's a math problem or something, teach the other child. And
Beautiful.
in so doing, that help that other child to gain content
Right.
better.
Now, just want to add though, that just don't be punitive. Parents and teachers, don't be punitive now.
Not at this
If
stage.
they can't make it, just be loving and gentle, give them things to drink and hug. Strange thing, but the research is showing that if we hug them, they feel something. So a child is struggling in the back there and so on, give them a little hug.
Well, you know, that brings me to the question. What are some of the routines that a teacher can do? We trying to alleviate fear and anxiety and reduce anxiety. We can't alleviate it. It's going to be some there to reduce it. What some of the things the teacher in the classroom, you said, oh, go talk to them nice.
Yes.
Some other tips for parents looking out there, teachers, grandparents, everybody in this anxiety, including myself. I'm not into anxiety mode, but how can classroom routines help build confidence and reduce
Simple.
anxiety?
Simple, achievable routines and structures. This is not the time to introduce at home or at school aspirational routines that they have to now come and introduce some new things and have to go down the road to try to be successful. Simple structures and achievable routines. Sometimes you actually have to create an environment where you get the child to learn things that they know, they share things with others, but you have to create opportunity for them to be successful. So give them assignments and activities where you know they will be successful. But what that does, it programs their neuroplasticity, their brain system, to say that they can be successful. So what you're doing is feeding the spirit or sense of I am valuable, I am intelligent, and I can achieve. Little activities that are not necessarily precisely related to the academics, but things still in the class of working with each other, with some sports and so on, and they can develop the sense of achieving and being successful.
Okay, thank you so much. Because as you said, you know, teachers take them out, run a little bit, break the monotony of practices. Right now they're practicing, they're doing past papers and whatnot. And this is, as I said, this piece here on teachers. How should teachers prioritize the final month before SCA? What sort of, you talk about some of it to be, you know, change the momentum, give them a break, give them another, play some music in the classroom perhaps, you know, just a break from this.
But every day, just take up the last point that I was making. Every day, just include some things that you know they're going to do well. Because it's not for the passing of the exam now. You know that they can do well, so they will have a sense of self-esteem. Actually, If you ask me my deepest view on this, it is not just the preparation for the examination now. They have been preparing for a long time, and yes, you're fine-tuning. But I think the biggest job at this time is for them to feel self, the sense of self. I could pass.
I can pass, I can
worthy,
do it.
I'm good. And don't call children bad names.
Right,
In parents
important.
too.
Yeah.
Don't say you're dotish like your father.
Well-
or you're stupid like your mother. Not these days.
No, even when I taught at Teachers College, we warn teachers that you do not call them names like that. You always say positive things to them, and you will see positive behavior actions from them.
It goes into the brain.
Of course, of course. So those are some tips for the teachers, but I'll be coming back to the parent
Yeah.
now, right? The most important, parents have a great, great role here, support pillar out there for this SCA child. And they have to look at their child, they know their child, to see sometimes how can they look at the child and say, well, I know I'm seeing some signs the child is feeling overwhelmed. What signs should they look
Right.
for? And how should parents respond?
So while we're saying don't be punitive, don't introduce some aspirations that are new and they now have to strive for. This is to have more balance now. Make sure they're eating and resting and so on. The time with the children is very precious now. It's a few weeks, so you're giving them extra time. But sometimes we want to bribe them. This is not a bribe time. It is not the promised bribery. You'll get a great holiday, I'll buy a television for you, you'll get a new watch. That is not what is required now. So not punitive, not bribery, but balance. Their routines must be supervised carefully at this time. Not too much being on the cell phone, on the computer, on the chat, and digital children doing that too, because what is happening with the social media and the cell phone, it is shrinking the brain's capacity to think creatively or intelligently. That's research, that's not my thought. The Harvard research, for example, shows that at this time they shouldn't be, definitely, at no time, but certainly this time, just be stuck on the phone and on the social media and trapped on that level, because they're actually making the brain, let's use the word shrink, in the sense of creative thinking and intelligent thinking and decision making. A lot of the SEA is choices. The choices, not just as spontaneous choices, but intelligent choices. So give them just this sense of balance. Don't punish, don't bribe. Their routines must be nice now. The eating, the resting, the sleeping. One important thing to do now is, as often as you can during the week, go with the child or the children for a little walk. Let them breathe fresh air. Let them touch the ground, the grass, the feet. Just go with your children now a little more than what will happen in the future or in the past. Walk, go outside. If you have gardens at home, plants and flowers, just go there for a few minutes, because plants and greenery and trees and birds and so on help to normalize the human being and absorbs stresses from our being, because we are creatures of nature. God had made us part of nature, not concrete world and the academic world. We have to do that here. But it's a nice time to take time off fairly often during the week, just to do nothing. Here, this hard one. This is a hard thing. You all do nothing for a few minutes, a little while. You know, go outside and just do nothing. But this nothing time for a child, you'll be surprised, resets their neurology, resets their sense of things. So they can't always be just focus and think. This is a time also to reset by doing some just time out things. If you go by the beach with them, fine. You walk on the beach with them, fine. You walk in the backyard. You go down Palmas. If you're from the southern area, then you walk and so on. But do things where they don't have to be thinking and analyzing and making choices, because that is the burden of the neurology at this time. But they're free to enjoy. Now, if the child likes ice cream, yeah, but don't overdo it in bribing them. But yes,
In
have a little ice cream
moderation, things in
In
moderation.
moderation.
Yes.
So it's little things. It's no big rocket science. It's just that you create a sense of you're adapting to this shifting time. You're creating harmony and peace. And a child needs to be touched. A child doesn't need to be punished and abused. And you don't make a child more successful by shouting at them. It never happens. But yes, they need to be consoled and touched. Mommy does and daddy does. Just a little touch on the shoulder. Still take them with you to the grocery. Yes, it is SEA time, but still, let's go with me to the grocery to get things and let them get things. So these are normal little things we do. There's no big psychology that you now have to take them to psychologists. But just in case you want to get in touch with me and you want to come down by me, I live at Couva. Just call me. At the end of the show, we'll put up the numbers and so on. Call me, come down and sit down and talk, bring the child, we'll think, for free. This is not for money and some medical treatment. And the approach I use is a non-medical family kind of bonding with the child and talk to them and so on. So you have access. The point I was making, you do have access to people like myself who will be available to touch them emotionally or psychologically or make them relax and so on. So that is also a technique that we could go to imam, we could go to priests, you can go to the sisters and so on. And just for a little bonding at this time, not counseling and coaching and psychology.
Right, because sometimes they may come home, as you spoke about, 6:30 to 6:30 in the evening is lessons and past papers. And I want to go with you and said, it's time, mommy, give them a big hug. You know, I am here with you. We are going down this journey together. As you said, it's just a little journey.
Yeah.
It's coming up to the end, and another one would come up. But give them a mommy hug and say, I know, even, you know, they're getting back their results from their practice test. You didn't do too well, but that's good. I know you're going to do better, and congratulate them. Hug them. And I'm saying mommy because I think the mommies are there, but I'm not eliminating daddies with the sons to say, yes, son, I know you're trying your best and I'm here with you. Reassure them that you are there on this journey with them.
That's it. It's a reassuring, I am with you. Whatever happens now during this time or in the exam room or wherever, I am here, I'm with you.
And you spoke about routines, but you know, for emphasis again, audience, we might be saying the same thing or repeating for reinstating it in your brain there. Routines, for example, you talked about it a while ago. How can parents ensure that they have healthy routines for sleep, meals, study time?
Yeah, and bath, No, it's strange, but the psychologist says the shower is a big psychologist, you know, for you, the parent, for me, for the children. Give it a little extra few minutes in the shower. Let's let the water flow. Because I'll tell you something, this is a secret. 80% of the human being's body is liquid.
Is what? Yes.
It's blood, plasma, water. It's not bones and muscles. So that by drinking water, sipping it slowly during the day, by going in the shower for an extra minute or two, what you're doing is you activating or nurturing or uplifting the liquid capacity of the body. This is taken for granted, but this is a very important, if the majority of the body is the liquid, in the brain and in the body. So a little extra with the shower, you have a pool at home, let the child swim and take it easy, or you go by the ocean and just have the water flowing and so on. So the liquid capacity is a secret. I have to buff up some of the people who come to me, adults and so on. You're not spending enough time in the shower or water. So, and you know, I studied in the East. I studied in India, Nepal, and China, and so on, Japan. And one of the things that women do there when they start to feel a thing is soak their feet in warm water with a little Epsom salts and little things you could do. And it just makes you feel more comfortable and so on. So little things like that, depending on your particular, so the teachers now, teachers, take my little advice. See if once a week you can't get one of those plastic basins. You'll say, Mr. Bajan, where you go find time for that? Well, fine. But see if you, the Chinese shops have it, a nice plastic basin, put some warm water, put some Epsom salt, soak your feet, and then afterwards you dry your feet and polish your toes and cream your feet. These are things you could do now. We should do it in life generally, but
Right.
now we could do it too.
Now we're preparing for SEA. So hold that point and we will be right back as we take a break.
Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab an Oasis, now why wait? Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab an Oasis, now why wait? The greatest, the safest Oasis for sure. Oasis, it's purer than pure.
Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's high. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Punch any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Try our new passion fruit flavor today. Taste the passion.
Welcome back. We are talking to Mr. Selwyn Bajan on the Right Fit, and we are talking preparation for SEA. We were talking prior to the break about soaking yourself in a hot tub, soaking your feet, or going to a sea bath. And you know, salt is extremely good for health as well.
Yeah.
Preparing or coping with SEA during these couple months or weeks as we have it here. And for parents, you hinted about it. We talk about what they should do, but what they shouldn't do.
Yeah, well, parents, don't get vexed. Don't get vexed under the stress and take it out on the children in the car or home. You have to be very disciplined at this time in terms of controlling your emotions. It has to be equilibrium, peaceful emotions. I am there for you. Don't let the children see that you have to turn to drinking. Yeah, drink beer or alcohol. I know in the Islamic faith that is not a story, but we're talking to parents generally at this time. So this is not a time to start to use drinking as relaxation and getting angry and shouting and so on. This is a time for balance. You now must have a little tea. Come home in the evening while the child is maybe relaxing, sleeping and so on, but you should be sipping a little tea, warm drink, and little things that will tide you over. This is the first point I made today. Things that will tide you over for the next few weeks. It's not a permanent feature. We are adapting to a moment of challenge.
Correct.
Now, I would like to add this. If the children and the parents are not at this time with equilibrium. Yes, we have to do all those things that we're suggesting. You know, it comes back to haunt us later on in life. This SCA thing can be dangerous in the sense that if we don't learn how to cope with challenging situations and think through things and so on, even now, later on, you'll be surprised. It manifests itself in the workplace, it manifests itself in marriages, it manifests itself in community life. So you are not only taking care of the child and yourself during this period of adaptation against anxiety and stress, but you're actually using this time to build a personality of maturity and balance into the future. That's a nice little way to say for the next 6 weeks or so, you will keep your cool.
We talk about the teachers, we talk about the parents, staying calm, having equilibrium, balance with the child, being pleasant or be on the positive side. Because at this point in time, they are doing their past papers, they may come home stressed, and you have to learn not to take out your stress on them.
Yes.
Be calm, yes, call the child, I know it's a hard day, or I have a hard day, let's sit and talk about something else besides the exam. If you have a pet, go play with the pet. If you have to go, as you said, go out there, but just to keep them in that frame of mind. I know they have to be at a certain level and be there. They have to have a little tiny stress to get them there.
Of course.
But not the amount there. And some of them do go overboard and feel they're ready to give up. So I want to talk about students out there now. How can students manage exam stress? I mean, this is a psychological thing, especially in the final weeks, which we are talking about. How a child, I am writing his SCA, and how you think I should behave, or what should I do, or what should I ask of my parents or my teachers to cope with this stress?
Right. So as a child, you know it's a time. We're not talking nonsense and saying it's all honky-dory and everything is wonderful. No, you should know it is a time of challenge for you. That helps the brain, that I am going to be involved in a time of challenge and I have to be calm. I have to be intelligent. I am capable of making the right choices. So you have to self-talk, it's called. It's called self-talk. Sometimes I do it with adults, I do it with young people. You talk to yourself, not in a mood-making way, but in a positive way, so that I will overcome this challenge. One of the things to do when you are in the exams or preparing for the exam, this is talking to the child, break down what is before you. If you see a question or a challenge on the paper that is getting you confused, it might not be the question, it might be something you're feeling bad at that moment. Repeat it to yourself, read it over, look at the words, break it down and slow it down a little bit, and you will get the gist of the thing, because you're smart. Everybody's smart. So break it down, slow it down, and read it 3 times if you need to read it 3 times. That's a technique. The other thing is, when you go home, children, go to the pets. Go out and water the plants a little bit, do these kind of things. So if you have pets at home, that's wonderful. Pets help to absorb the thing. But coming back to the actual sitting in the exam, just know that it's a time of challenge. That helps the brain. This is a time that I have to be alert. So you self-talk. I have to be alert, not get stressed out. I have to be clear in my thinking. I have to come through with this, and in a few weeks I don't have to ever do this thing again, and so on. So self-talk, even as a child, it is important. And the teachers should encourage that kind of self-talk by the teacher talking like that, almost giving the child an example of how to do self-talk.
So we talk about the teachers, the students, but we need to keep them, as you said, in balance. They come home, the parents there, they talking and they have homework, but we have to keep them motivated as well. And sometimes they feel over there and ready to write that exam now.
Yeah. some of the ideas I just shared with it being a passing moment and breaking down things. And yes, it is normal that the children, some children, will feel depressed. It's just a word we use. They will feel overwhelmed. They will feel, so there's a nice technique I'm going to teach you right now. From all my years of studying mindfulness and meditation and being in the East and India and at Harvard, breathe in.
Deep breathe.
Take a little time and bring the attention to the breath. Parents, you too, but the children. So this is a teaching that an old uncle like me giving you for the children who are there. Just at that moment when you're starting to feel a little bit depressed and overwhelmed, just sit down and breathe for a moment. A nice, deep, slow breath in and a nice, slow breath out. Do it 3 to 7 times, whatever. Not long thing like an exercise. But the deep breathing helps to reset energies in the body and thing, and that helps. It almost magically helps when you take a little moment to do a little deep breathing whenever you feel. Nobody has to know that you're doing a little deep breathing and taking my time more than coming back. But pay attention to the breath.
Correct. In yoga, they tell you to
Yeah.
do that too.
If you're going in, pay attention to the breath. Pay attention to the breath. But it normalizes a lot of, because breath is life. In yoga, they say prana, life force.
Yeah.
It goes, the life force goes through the whole body by a little breathing. Teachers, you all too, try that. You'll see. Take a moment in this time when it is a little overwhelming and do some deep breathing.
And what you find too, from examples I have seen, you deep breathing, and the pulse go down a little bit. So
Yeah.
you know that palpitation, that anxiety, it is calming. Or sip some water,
Yes.
cold water, it helps you.
Yes.
So coming up, I have done as an educator some slides to give, to motivate, reassure, and to give some practical strategies for parents and teachers. So we'll bring up this PowerPoint slideshow, all right, and I will speak to it as we go ahead before we continue. So my thing is, how can we motivate, reassure, and give practical strategies, which is what we were discussing here. What are the most effective study habits C students should be using right now as you prepare for SEA, that big day as they say about it? Let's see some strategies you give. Stick to a steady, predictable routine. You know, you don't change it up suddenly and say, well, you're spending 2 hours on the TV or you're watching this, or just go in your time schedule. You would have had that already. A consistent daily rhythm helps students stay calm and focused. The brain know I'm studying for 2 hours, I'm having a break, I'm having a snack, I'm having my dinner, I'm having a shower. Mommy time, daddy time, all that the brain knows. So stick to that. Sudden increase in workload or last minute cramming can actually raise anxiety. So don't figure you have to go and read all the past papers in one night. And you want to reduce that retention, okay, if you do those things, all right? So that is one little strategy there that I did for you. Next one, practice with past papers, but with strategy. If you're doing past papers, you have FastPass now, excellent. They are powerful when used wisely. It helps the student to understand the question format, how it is phrased, what it is asking. And during your exam, underline the keyword, the verb. What is this asking me to do about? Identify your weak areas. By now, your teacher should know what are your new weak areas. Talk to your parents, talk to you. You can do this. You're doing this part good, but here is how to improve this other part. Improve timing if you're doing past papers. I know the schools are doing them now. They give you the real time to do the math in so much time, the language arts, the creative writing in timing. So if you know you're falling short, don't get disappointed. Just keep going. Slow and steady wins the race. At this time, the goal isn't to overload them. It's to get a realistic sense of where they stand and guide revision. Okay? Our next slide tells us again, focus on understanding. Understanding, not memorizing. If you get something wrong, ask your teacher about it. And when you understand that concept, for example, especially in math, you can apply that concept to math in any other problem like that. So this is important here, and I know teachers are doing that now. They're explaining, or they are asking one child in the class to get on the board and show the others how they arrived at an answer. Use real-time examples to explain tricky topics. This helps deepen understanding and reduce reliance on rote learning. It's not time to cram. For example, I know where the teachers, they were preparing the students, and as you say, real life examples for creative writing. And for a report, they asked the students to bring materials to make a chow. And they all brought in their materials, the salt, the pepper, and the whatnot. They made the chow and they distribute. And all that is real life examples how to do something, and it will go into their report. So practical examples. Kudos to St. Peter's teacher. All right, and the next slide, build strong time management. Adults have to do it, students have to do it. Practice completing sections with the allotted time. You will be practicing now. Teach them, skip a difficult question. You don't understand it, come back to it later. Avoid getting stuck. You're there, you're thinking, and you're not going anywhere. No, stop. This reduces stress and prevents the cortisol spikes that can affect memory during the exam. If you stay there and you get too stressed out, you will go blank sometimes. So you need to understand that. Go back to the question that you have left out. We always tell them that. So time management is important for preparing for SCE. Next one, review mistakes. Just don't do more work and figure you'll get it right. Going through answers together, discussing why something was right or wrong, helps to reinforce learning and build confidence. Oh, I now see why I got that wrong. And that helps the brain to understand even better as you review your mistakes now. Don't wait for the day to review the mistake. Right now is the time as you're doing your past papers. And the next one is keep, that is Mr. Bajan was talking about it, keep stress low and emotions steady. Calm students perform better. Take short breaks, breathing exercise, and reassurance from adults help maintain emotional balance. Parents should avoid pressure-filled statements like, and this is very, very typical, you must pass for X school or Y school, but instead offer support and presence. Your presence is extremely important in your child's life at this moment. Okay? And of course, celebrate wins, small wins. You finish the paper on time, you improve your score, or you mastered a tough concept, it deserves recognition. Encouragement builds confidence and reduces exam anxiety. And this is what we're trying to tell parents out there today. So, little bit of tips for you students out there, just to help you with your SCA exams. So I will come back now to Mr. Bajan. That is just from an educator's point of view and from everybody's point of view. What should children do the night before and the morning of the exam to feel calm and ready?
Yeah. Remember that your vibrations to the child is important. Think of them in a beautiful manner. You are mother, you are father. Think of them as, this is such a beautiful gift of life. So an attitude to the child is important. This is a gift of life that God has given me to enjoy. So if you think of the child in that kind of positive way, as I said, make sure they shower, make sure they're eating, make sure they get a little rest. Looking at television and so on is okay, not to overdo it, to overrun, but the night before they should not be on the cell phone and with the social media connections for those who do, although these are little ones, but people do. and just as normal as possible in the home and with the child. And being present to them is crucial. Sitting with them in the room, being around them, even tuck them in when they go to bed. Just that sense of I am precious and valuable, but it's a vibrational thing that comes out of the parent's heart or mind towards the child. More normalizing and uplifting than putting any pressure now. If you don't pass, you can't become a doctor. That is a joke. Mm-hmm. That is not why they are writing this exam. That's your kind of dream about something. No, they have to get through this moment, and we're just helping them to get through the moment, and you too, the parent, the teachers. But these are precious lives. These are precious people. Our educational system don't always do that right, so we have to do it. Because the teachers are under pressure for the children to go through curriculum and pass the exams and all that sort of thing. So the teachers, they don't always have all the time for this loving attention and so on, but the parents at home has to make sure that that is in place.
They make time for them. So as we are closing, again, I shared some tips with you out there, parents, teachers, students. You have worked so far, and I think you should be calm on the day and the morning. And parents, please don't give them some different breakfast and say you need energy or anything. Just be the normal routine, pack your little pencils and whatnot, get out there, and by the help of God, I'm sure you all will be successful. You have done it so far. You are going to be successful. All right? So once again, thanks Almighty God for this opportunity. Thanks to our coach, Mr. Bajan, for your insightfulness here. Many thanks to the management and staff of IBN, Sadiqa and Brother Hasib. Join us again every Monday at 8 p.m. with a rerun on Saturday at 5 p.m. Drop us a line if you would like to be part of this program, or you have a question to answer, or a question to ask, sorry. And if you're unable to see this program on cable TV IBN, you could see it on Facebook or YouTube or Tigo TV. You can contact us at 680-9635, 475-1439 or 645-4426. Join us again next week. Our topic for next week is intentional living. Don't know what that is? Then tune in next Monday because it affects us all. Assalamu alaikum and good night.
When the moment comes to honor a loved one, compassion, dignity, and faith matter most. Come to Shyams Islamic Funeral Services Limited. We provide trusted Islamic funeral and burial services, grounded in tradition and handled with care. From ghusl and shrouding to transportation, janaza coordination, burial arrangements, and special international repatriation services of your loved ones. With professionalism, with respect, with heart. Shyams Islamic Funeral Services Limited, serving our community with honor.